Global Summit UAE at the iconic Taj Business Bay in Dubai, uniting top leaders, thinkers and change makers. News9 Global Summit spotlights collaboration across trade, tech, clean energy, digital infrastructure, food security and culture under the theme of partnership for prosperity and progress. News9 invites visionary leaders and change makers to help script the next chapter of the India-UAE Strategic Alliance at the News9 Global Summit. For the first time, Canada's intel services acknowledged that Khalistani extremists operate from Canada. Report states that Khalistani extremists use Canada as a base for promotion, fundraising or planning violence against India. Israel attacks Iran's Arak heavy water reactor. Iranian state TV says this comes just hours after Israel warned civilians to flee the area. Amid rising tensions between Iran launches more missile attacks on Israel. Israel intensified air raids on Tehran, reportedly targeting key nuclear facilities. Putin says Iran has not asked for Russia's military help, adds that partnership between Russia and Tehran doesn't cover such military support. In the Ahmedabad AI-171 crash, 210 victims identified, 187 mortal handed over to families. More than 270 lives were lost in the Dreamliner tragedy. Indigo flight carrying 180 people makes emergency landing due to technical snag, safely returns to Delhi. Well, the News9 Global Summit is in UAE. The summit is to bring and celebrate the formidable constellation of ministers, policymakers, business leaders, economists and futurists from both nations, highlighting the partnership for prosperity and progress between India and UAE. Now, Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas Hardeep Singh Puri will deliver the keynote address emphasizing on the growing crucial ties between India and UAE, with a slew of exciting discussions ranging from the planet's sustainability to trade, technology to tackling the global order in the current geopolitical scenario. Let's tune in from Dubai for further details about how it is in fact working out. Karthik Malhotra, Executive Editor of News9, in fact joins us with more detail, along with Karthikeya Sharma, Deputy Managing Editor of News9. So Karthik, how is it? How's the mood at Dubai, especially with this big program that has been planned by News9, and it's also a reflection of close ties with UAE and what the future could hold for these ties?
You couldn't have been more right, Varghese. In fact, that is exactly the mood. The bond between India and UAE is actually visible right here. We are still about 25 minutes or so before we go live with the News9 Global Summit, the UAE edition here from Dubai. We are at the Taj Business Bay at Dubai. And as you can see perhaps behind me, behind Karthikeya, you will find that the very purpose of organizing and providing a platform like this is being served. People are walking in, delegates are walking in. I'm overhearing conversations. They are sort of adding each other, following each other on LinkedIn. They're exchanging visiting cards. and really trying to take forward a partnership and collaboration which kickstarts perhaps at summits like these, where we provide a platform and we get stakeholders from policy makers to economists to business leaders to stars from the world of entertainment, all of them here not just trying to tell their story and the India story or vice versa, the UAE story, but also trying to work together, collaborate together in a meaningful manner so that they can take forward the acquaintances that they make today and convert them into meaningful propositions going forward. Now, of course, like I told you, we just have less than half an hour to go for the event to begin. The room is already a buzz. I don't know if you're getting live visuals and we can show those to our screen, but the room is already a buzz. Our final tech checks are done, our dry runs are done. Fingers crossed, things are looking good so far. In fact, we have all our speakers, confirmed speakers, already here at the Taj Business Bay, and they would be walking this red carpet, if you can see that, in just a few minutes from now. But the mood is absolutely ecstatic. People are happy to be here, and I think the timeliness of organizing a summit in Dubai, in UAE right now, given all that we are seeing in the Gulf region, the active hot conflict zone right now, I think the mood is pretty robust that there are certain partnerships, especially like those between UAE and India, which are going to be absolutely clear of any conflict, damages, ramifications that may happen in the region. So it's a robust partnership. And of course, Kartikeya is here with me. Like you mentioned, you introduced him. Kartikeya, just 30 minutes to go. Everything is looking good so far. Let's hope the party continues, right?
Absolutely. See, Verghese, there are a lot of Indians behind me. People don't realize that the 35% of the population of UAE is constituted by India. 35%. UAE is the second biggest export destination for India after United States of America. When I say second biggest destination, it means a lot. It means UAE is also a potential market. Then UAE is also an investor in the Indian economy. It's investor in Indian economy in multiple sense of the way. It's investor in the Indian economy from the business point of view. It's investor in India from a strategic point of view. And it invests in India's foreign policy from our security point of view. UAE is today in a very effective position, what we call as the OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. UAE and Saudi Arabia have been playing a very important role. There has been a relative decline of Iraq, complete decline of Syria, Egyptians are sidelined, and Iran is a pariah state. So UAE and Saudi Arabia have become very, very important. And that's where the Indian investment has come in. Imagine 60, 70 years ago, would you have thought of having a Hindu temple, Swaminarayan, which is also known as Baptist temple, being built in West Asia? It's a reality. You have a Baptist temple here.
In fact, we have the head priest of the BAPS actually delivering an address here. And again, I think, Kartikeya, it's important to mention that the topic that Swamiji would be speaking on is also very relevant given the time that we are living in right now, where he is going to talk about harmony and he is going to talk about peace. And that becomes absolutely critical to the entire world, not just to this region, which is an active conflict hub right now, but the entire world right now. And given all the kind of wars, whether active military engagements or tariff wars, trade wars, I think it's a good time to really talk about harmony and try and bring about some sort of a peaceful resolution to all that's happening in the world.
What is happening, Karthik, is historically the multilateralism is under threat because of Donald Trump. The WTO architecture, which was created by Americans, conceived in way back in 50s and 60s, Donald Trump is dismantling it. We can say that maybe this will create new opportunities. Some will say it will create instability. Someone will say it will create opportunity with instability. But the fact is, we will see emergence of more bilateral pacts. This is why News9 chose UAE as a destination point, because India has a strong bilateral with UAE. Are we going to see emergence of more bilaterals? Are we going to see emergence of more smaller BRICS-like formations? Because ultimately, if America is going to announce policies on X, if it is going to roll back policies on X,
Truth Social to begin with and screenshots going on X. So that seems to be the new order of disseminating information.
The matter is that after 1938, the world is witnessing highest tariff on an average, which I think is at 15.4%. So the world is actually navigating a choppy American president whose policies are decided on his whims and fancies. That's the crux of the matter. That's the crux of the matter. And the whole idea of News9 Business Summit, as summed up by Karthik, is to create a place for partnership which will lead to new business opportunity, but it is also a sort of an innovation hub. It is also a sort of a hub where people can discuss ideas. I mean to say partnership and business opportunities emerge if you create a platform for people to come together. So this is a platform for people to come together, and the journey started from Stuttgart and it is not going to end in Dubai. This journey will be taken to places like London and Washington, because we are going to also narrate an India story. This News9 Business India Summit is only happening because we have an economic say. Was it possible to have a sort of a business summit in 1965? We had no economic say. So it also reflects the economic say of India. So it's an India story we are trying to tell.
Absolutely.
India story from the context of innovation, AI, bilateralism, multicultural issues which are affecting the way societies function. Like for example, UAE is a diverse society, 200 nationalities work here. Diversity index is far better in UAE than in United States of America, country where it was conceived. So these are the complex issues which we are going to discuss.
Absolutely. So Varghese, yeah, that's exactly the editorial thought behind organizing platforms like these. Now again, coming back specifically to the summit today, of course, this is going to be a star-studded summit, not just the evening sessions, which will have stars like Sunil Shetty, Riddhi Dogra, Nargis Fakhri, producers like Ekta Kapoor donning the stage, but we'll also have stars from the world of policy making, we'll have stars from the world of business, technology, futurists, whatever really, you know, one can dream of having at a global summit is exactly something which is going to unfold over the next couple of hours right here from Dubai.
Well, Karthik, one interesting thing that is there is that the position of this global summit, that is in Dubai. Now, it is considered to be an emirate which has a global presence, and at the same time is an emirate that has been also incorporating, absorbing everything that happens from across the world, ideas, tech, AI-driven technology, and also with regards to business ideas. So Dubai is, in fact, a place or an emirate that has transformed itself so much, and India, meanwhile, is a crucial partner of UAE, and this all reflects in it, isn't it?
Absolutely. So you're right. There's no doubt about that. And given the fact that this is a hotbed right now, the region, not this country, it's a peace-loving country, but the fact that this is a hotbed right now, the whole timeliness of organizing a summit here is absolutely crucial. Sir, thank you so much for being here with us. For our audience in India who don't really recognize you as well as yet right now, but they will after they hear you at the summit, could you introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. I'm Trevor McFarlane. I'm the CEO of Emerging Markets Intelligence and Research, better known as EMIR in the region, and we are an intelligence network for CEOs and government officials, and we've about 450 members across Dubai, Saudi, etc.
Lovely. So EMIR, for our audience who already knows, is this think tank and economy think tank, research tank, which is coming up and is really working constructively in this region to tell the Gulf story to the rest of the world. And Trevor is going to be on the very first panel. In fact, the India 360-degree trade partnership is the panel that Trevor would be speaking on. Trevor, initial thoughts. The world is changing as we are speaking. The world changed the first time, I think, on the 20th of Jan when Donald Trump took the Oval Office the second time. The world changed one more time on the 2nd of April with the sweeping tariffs that the world got imposed with. And now we are seeing that perhaps there is a little bit of dilly-dallying on how debilitating will the impact of the tariffs really be. In that context, how relevant is it for countries like India and UAE to stitch up these bilateral trade agreements and partnerships, regional partnerships, in a largely now what one sees a localized world and not really a globalized world, Trevor?
Look, I think your analysis is spot on. Donald Trump is a geopolitical, geoeconomic, technological, environmental volcano that has erupted, right? And that eruption is rippling across the world. It's rippling across continents, across security alliances, across the decisions that are being made in boardrooms. So the world is a new place. We have entered into a new geopolitical era. And we've also entered into the new world of geoeconomics, particularly with the Mar-a-Lago Accord, which is a set of economic principles by Stephen Mirren, the head of Trump's economic policy team. And as a result of this, the world is shifting. There's this tectonic change, but at the same time, there are opportunities emerging. There is always opportunities in disruption, and that's why I think the summit here by News9 is so important, because you're bringing together two very interesting countries at a very interesting time. India is one of the bright spots in the world. The UAE is incredibly well renowned now as being admirably nimble and being able to adapt to changes in the world. So I think it comes at a really important time.
Right. So that is specifically on Donald Trump, and that is specifically on how there's been a tectonic shift, as Trevor was mentioning, Verghese, about the world and the way the world operates and does business. But I think more interestingly, there is also this massive infrastructure project that the I2U2 is working closely with. The I2U2, of course, being India, Israel, UAE and the USA, by way of this massive, what some call a sort of threat to BRI. I'm not sure if in the near future it will be a threat to BRI, but the IMEC, the India Middle East Europe Economic Corridor, and that corridor really opening up new avenues for trade, for shipping, to reach the rest of the world more quickly in a more efficient manner. How relevant do you think are these large-scale multilateral infrastructure projects like IMEC?
Well, in the context that we just discussed of a changing world, they become even more important. Now, obviously, you've got I2U2, right, which is the initiative that you described between these countries, and then you have IMEC, which is the economic corridor. And IMEC is very much a long-term project, just like BRI is a very long-term project. But there's some interesting aspects that are taking place in front of us right now. You know, in the context of a potential India-EU free trade agreement. Think about how that could completely upend and change the trading landscape within this part of the world. At the same time, you also have strengthening relations between the UAE and India. You also have the Iraq development project, which is another potential trade route emerging in the Middle East as well. So what you see is that there's a huge amount of change, and with this change will come disruption, but will also come opportunity. And I think the UAE and India has a unique partnership and opportunity to bolster that.
Trevor, thank you so much. I think our audience is really looking forward to hearing you speak on the panel as well, but thank you so much for joining us here this morning. So, Verghese, that was, of course, Mr. Trevor McFarlane. Thank you so much, Trevor. I also have, in fact, the man of the moment. In fact, somebody who's been the architect of the News9, not just the News9 platform, but even the News9 Global Summit. I have Mr. Barun Das somewhere here. I think I can see him. He's also just networking right now and shaking hands with Trevor and with some of the other leaders who are here with us this morning. In fact, I now have with me the MD and CEO, the architect of the News9 platform and the News9 Global Summit, Mr. Barun Das. Mr. Das, good morning. You're looking dapper, all set to take the stage and go ahead and really make this platform meaningful for everybody who's here in attendance this morning.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not ready to take the stage because I stay behind the camera, off stage usually. But it's a great feeling, Karthik. I mean, we have done this summits for quite a few years in India, but I haven't seen such euphoria first thing in the morning. And I've seen almost half the turnout. The hall is almost full, even before the bell rings. So it's a very, very pleasant experience for me, and I'm loving it here.
Lovely. I'm sure everybody is loving it. All those guys who are also watching us, not just us, but also the last minute prep which is going on inside on the second stream. I think it's absolutely the right day to do this event, especially at a time when this entire region, and that's something we've been talking about for the last few days, the entire region is marred in conflict right now. And that is where the India-UAE bilateral becomes absolutely relevant. In fact, just to recap for our viewers, Mr. Das, Prime Minister Modi has visited UAE 7 times in the last 11 years that he's been in office, and his counterpart has visited India 4 times. 11 visits to each other's homelands in as many years. I think this brotherhood, this camaraderie is something that we are only taking forward on this stage of the News9 Global Summit, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I see there's striking similarities between the mindset of two leaders. They definitely believe a few things which are common in their minds. I think prosperity and progress, that's at the core of their thoughts. But I believe that what's actually influencing that thought always is that when you talk about prosperity and progress, you need to include everyone. So which is the mindset of these two leaders, and I think that's why the bilateral ties between India and UAE is so significant, not only for these two countries, but for this region, and I think the world at large too.
Absolutely, and in fact we do have Hardeep Singh Puri, the Honourable Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, who would be addressing our summit. In fact, he's the keynote speaker who would be addressing our summit virtually this morning. That's the first session that we will bring for all our viewers. But we also have the Indian ambassador to the UAE, Mr. Sanjay Sudhir, who would be here with us in person. And it shows the way the Indian community is so well entrenched in this UAE ecosystem, and that is visible with the gentry that we are seeing coming in. We've got a good healthy mix of people from multiple nationalities. It's not just Indians residing in the UAE, but we also have Emirati folks. We have people from all sides of the world, all corners of the world, who are making it to this event. So pretty much, Mr. Das, it becomes a multilateral event that we are holding almost bilaterally with the UAE.
Absolutely. But add to that most of the Indians living here feel that Dubai is the best Indian city to live in. So 40% of population of UAE are Indians. So therefore, it's almost like an extension of India. But you're right that this is a very cosmopolitan country and city, and people from all over the world are here. So it's right that it's a bilateral summit, but participated by people around the world.
Right. So I don't know if I can put you on a spot and ask you this. We have a power-packed session. We have policymakers, we have economists, we have business leaders, and we have the whole galaxy of entertainment stars coming this morning. Can you pick up one session that you are really looking forward to the most?
That is impossible to pick up. I think each session is going to be more exciting than the other. I think the mix is very important, Karthik. As we keep saying that we as a private news network, our focus has always been in the trade and economy. You know, geopolitics, we don't touch that, we leave it to the leaders. But when you talk about bilateral ties, another two aspects which are supreme, according to me, are the soft power, which consists of sports and media and entertainment. So, and the Dubai is also a hub of media and entertainment. A lot of Indian stars from Bollywood and southern India, they have their residences here. So therefore, Bollywood, the hint of media and entertainment would be one of the significant portions of today's summit. So it's all encompassing, and I come back there that I think each session is going to be better than the others.
All right, and of course we had a conversation when we were at Stuttgart organizing our first real global News9 Global Summit, and you had pretty much laid out the teaser for what to expect later. You said we will continue with this journey of creating these global summits from different parts of the world, and here we are in the UAE, in Dubai this morning. Where do we go from here?
So obviously, first of all, Dubai, I don't think that we are going to restrict ourselves to once a year summit here. I think we'll be coming back here. This is so much happening here. This is, I would say that it's a deemed financial capital of this part of the world. So we need to be here more visible, more active. So we'll keep coming back here. I think we would have something to do with UAE India bilateral summits, which would be maybe once in a quarter. As far as the global summit is concerned, what we have a plan, you know that we are going back to Stuttgart again later this year, 9th and 10th of October. We definitely would have one more round of global summit in the UK, followed by in the US. US, we are trying to tie it up with the completion of 1 year of Mr. Donald Trump in the office. And then it won't be in this financial year, but next financial year, we would see the other part of the world, which is Australia. So the lineup is now quite significant.
All right, so the Global Summit, as the name suggests, the News9 Global Summit, and News9, the platform itself, is indeed going global, as you heard from Mr. Das just now. Mr. Das, thank you so much, and good luck for the event.
Thank you very much, and well done. I think you guys have pulled off such an event in UAE without even my knowing.
Fingers crossed, the day is yet to begin. Let's hope it goes off well.
What begins well ends well, don't worry.
So that's it from here right now, Varghese. That's all we have for you. We will in fact have other guests also joining in momentarily, but I'll throw it back to you in the studio for now.
Well, for those who are in fact joining us, this is the biggest event that we are in fact looking out in Dubai. It is an event that has had several multilateral nationalities, or we are also looking at the diaspora who is there, who's also taking part in this. And it is said to be one of an event that would in fact be a defining moment also between India and UAE when it comes to the relationship. We'll put a short break now. News and updates will continue on the other side.
this politics of appeasement?
That is the ground reality.
The violence continued unabated for the next 24 hours. Why is there Mamta for Pahalgam but not for Murshidabad?
Everyone in Pakistan is saying that India has punished us. You are all agreeing that Operation Sindoor is a success. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? किसका नमाज़े जनाजा निकल रहा था बहावलपुर में और रावलपिंडी में?
Fertility rates in South India have dropped more sharply.
In the future, you can see it going further down.
Population aging is definitely a cause of concern.
This is an alarming situation. Horror of horrors, the Pollachi horror. Anna University case is despicable.
Of course, there is a political angle everywhere involved.
Can they ever erase the trauma of these Tamil women?
They give a lot of psychological counseling and support to the victims.
Can we still make up?
Well, News9 Global Summit is in UAE. The summit is set to bring and celebrate formidable constellation of ministers, policymakers, business leaders, economists and futurists from both the nations. Now, highlighting the partnership for the prosperity and progress between India and UAE. Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas Hardeep Singh Puri will deliver the keynote address, emphasizing on the growing crucial ties between India and UAE, with a slew of exciting discussions ranging from planet sustainability to trade, technology to tackling the global order in the current geopolitical scenario. In fact, we are joined in by Kartikeya Sharma, Deputy Managing Editor of News9 from Dubai. Kartikeya, you were speaking about, the diaspora, how they in fact contributed to it. And UAE is also a very close geopolitical partner in a lot of aspects when it comes to India, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. UAE and India has a brilliant story. It's not restricted to I2, U2. The fact of the matter is, apart from the United States of America, UAE is the place, I would say, in the pecking order comes second in context of the exports. That's number one. Secondly, there's been a great relationship in context of security, economic partnership. I would even go on to say that UAE is invested in India's foreign policy. The way India is invested in UAE, 35% of the people who work here in UAE are Indian. So it's based on trust, it's based on economic partnership, it's based on even cultural linkages. You have a Babs temple out here. I'm joined by Handanul Shamsi, someone who understands this place, someone who runs a huge practice here, but more so, how do you look forward to the News9 Business Summit, sir?
I really look forward to today. Really glad to have all these people here to discuss what's been happening between the UAE and India. It's exciting times. The last 5 years, we've seen a lot of agreements come out, a lot of treaties being signed between the countries, a lot of cooperation. So I'm really looking forward to great discussions today.
How did UAE turn into such a cosmopolitan, multicultural place? I mean, so I really don't know which country would have a ministry of tolerance, ministry of possibilities, ministry of AI.
I thank the leadership for that. The leadership have a great vision. And I think I'll quote Sheikh Mohammed when he said the future are for the people that can design it and execute it. I think that's what we have here.
But how do you...
I just wanted to comment as well, the Indian leadership is right now really doing great things for India, and we can see things improving on a day-to-day basis. So I myself visit India frequently and loving what I see in terms of daily improvements.
The world is witnessing a tariff crisis, but there's a strong bilateral relationship between UAE and India. Do you think that's an example to follow? Because there's a complete erosion of multilateral institutions, weakening of WTO, but then you have multiple bilateral relationships coming up. Do you see that's the way forward in a crisis? That's the new opportunity?
Certainly, I see the UAE and India paving the way for countries to follow. They're setting a great example for other countries to follow.
Apart from economic prosperity, how would you define India-UAE's strategic partnership, security partnership, a shared common vision for the world?
I think culturally, the UAE and India share a lot culturally, and very important cultural traits. And from that, the relationship is deeper than just economic and agreements being signed and all that. I certainly see that the partnership will continue to grow. There'll be more investments, more interest from both sides towards one another.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. Thank you. It was a pleasure having you on our show. So it's about to begin. I think another 2 minutes, 3 minutes that the summit is going to start. The entire hall is jam-packed. I hope we have enough seats here for everyone to be accommodated. But it's a great feat. And as Barun was saying a short while ago, this is just the beginning. We had Stuttgart. We have Dubai, then we go back to Stuttgart again, then we'll have a summit in London, followed by a summit in Washington, followed by a summit in Australia to other places. That's the blueprint. That's a forward-looking plan.
Also, Karthik, how do you in fact see this particular aspect, especially in this region? Probably this is the first time we are having something like this in this region, and probably are we going to expand it later when it comes to other destinations in the Gulf as well?
I think it entirely depends on the business opportunities. You see, India and UAE share a lot of business opportunities, so it becomes a platform for networking. If it becomes a platform for networking, you can get people to talk to each other. If you can get people to talk to each other, you can create opportunities for businesses. Now, in other countries, there is a possibility. I think Mohammed bin Salman has been trying for a similar UAE experience in Saudi Arabia. He's trying to create a city called Neom, which is somewhat like high-tech like Dubai. But right now people don't have a sense of what sort of economic function it would have. Dubai has an economic function. That is why it's productive. It's like Singapore and Hong Kong. So yes, Neom, I would say, is perhaps the second only place where someone is thinking of in Saudi Arabia of a new city, of a new urban center in West Asia. But I don't think that it's possible. Right now, there is another side to the West Asian story. We have a war going on. The Iranians, Egyptians, Israelis, Lebanese, Syrians, and Jordanians. They're in the middle of a huge battle between Iran and Israel. Every day they're exchanging 200 missiles. It's not a joke. Two states are at war. Ukraine is war with Russia, and now Iran is in war with Israel, and it's not a proxy war. It's a declared war. The head of states are saying that we'll obliterate each other, and they're actually attacking each other's energy and nuclear facilities. So it's dangerous also. There is a fear of radiation also. There can be a consequence if you try to destroy a nuclear facility, because you contaminate, whether it's a heavy water facility, isotope facility, enrichment facility, whatever it is. It has the capacity to dirty your environment. But nonetheless, that's another topic, that's another debate altogether. But today at the News9 Summit, I think all our partners are here, all our people are here, and they're looking forward for a conversation. They're looking forward to hear an India story also. Because to have a summit like this, the country where you host, you should have some sort of a play, and India does have a play. And India's play is it's all set to be the third largest economy. That is India's play, Varghese.
Yeah, one of the significant topics that we are looking in this particular summit is also sustainability. Now, sustainability is something that is now there in every economic forum, every talk that is happening. So sustainability is something that is now also driving another set of business opportunities as well. And UAE also has been investing in a lot of sustainability projects.
Absolutely, sustainability is important for business, sustainability is important for environment, sustainability is important for civilization. Unsustainable development will not sustain Earth. There is only one earth. It's a finite resource. So you cannot have an unsustainable development when global warming is taking place. So you will have innovation to beat the global warming. You will need innovation to cope with global warming. You will need innovation in AI and artificial intelligence to deal with all the challenges which our own development has created in terms of waste disposal, waste processing, creation of buildings, heavier rains, harder climate, harsher climate. I think innovation will create new opportunities, destabilize old institutions, but that's the only way forward. But in our summit, which is happening at the Business Bay, Taj Dubai, has a larger story to tell. And that larger story, before I give back give back the mic to you, because I also need to rush back to have my place, because there are so many people, I don't think I'll get a place to say it, is to tell India's story, Varghese. This is also a place to say India's story, state India's story, reinstate it.
Well, thank you, Kartikeya Sharma, for in fact giving us all those insights. And of course, it's an exciting moment that we are in fact looking forward to see how those in fact plays out. For those who are joining us, this is the big global summit of News9 that is being held in UAE. It's called the UAE Edition. The summit is to bring together a constellation of policymakers, business leaders, economists, futurists from both the nations. We also have representations from the entertainment industry and highlighting the partnership and progress of prosperity as well as progress that we have between India and UAE, the ties that could probably even define the next big economic corridors and also define the global partnerships as well. As my colleague was in fact saying that several times you do see multilateral institutions in fact failing, but you have these bilateral relationships that are in fact becoming quite prominent on the world scale, and India-UAE relationship is one such bilateral relationship that is in fact becoming quite prominent in this regard. In a short while, we will be in fact going to the Global Summit in Dubai. It will be starting in a short while, and as I said, it is the big opportunity to discuss, to understand the future negotiations that would and the contours of that debate also around a futuristic world where technology merges at different levels and how that technology leads to business opportunities, the question about sustainability, and also communities in the larger context who are looking into a different world, especially in a region that is troubled right now